Hey, welcome back to the Moxie Movement podcast. I'm Sarah Greener. I'm your host and the creator of the Power Hour Time Back system and the Success Map systems download process. I am very pleased to have you here. We have just had the coolest immigration experience. We went to Jakarta. It was a phenomenally good experience. We were really nervous about it. There was a lot of paperwork to put together. We went to the Thai embassy in Jakarta. On the way back from my client event at the end of last year, went in there, dropped all the paperwork off, and that allowed us to be remote workers here in Thailand legally for up to the next 5 years in 6-month blocks, which means you don't have to go and do so many border runs. There's been this shift since 2020 where more and more people are able to work online, remotely, wherever they want to be. What would happen if we had those remote workers here in Thailand spending their euros or their pounds or their US dollars here in Thailand on living here without taking any of our jobs? Would that be a good thing for our economy? They've been really smart about how they've done it. They've done this destination Thailand visa really well. You can either be a remote worker, so you can work for a company, or you can work for your own company, so run your own business back in New Zealand like us and be in Thailand, or you can learn Muay Thai or Thai language, or Thai cooking, things that improve the understanding of the culture and hold the Thai culture in high esteem. I went to Jakarta, we went with all the paperwork to say, hey, this is us, and this is what we're going to do with Scarlett's education, and this is my wife, and she's working for her business, and she will provide for us financially while we're living in Thailand, and I will take care of our daughter's education. Johnny went and stood in the queue at like 6 o'clock in the morning. There's over 100 people in this queue, and he was like number 6 or 7. He went ungodly o'clock. Us girls stayed back at the Airbnb, and then we just caught a Gojek and caught up with him. Within half an hour of it opening, we were in. We handed over our paperwork. She checked through it all. She was like, yep, we paid her the money. She gave us a receipt, and she said, you come back Thursday morning or whatever the day was. Went out worried about it. Did we do everything correctly? Crickets, you hear nothing for those 3 days. And then you show back up at the time that the embassy opens on the Thursday morning to pick up your passport with or without the stamp, depending on whether you got it or not. And we got the stamp, and it was awesome. It was a great experience. Thailand's great at keeping track of you when you're here in the country. Every 90 days you have to do a check-in. If you have a longer term visa, I don't think there's any exceptions to it. Maybe there's one. But if you're in the country for longer than 90 days, you still have to check in with immigration and say, I'm still where I said I was going to be. This is the property I'm staying in. The first one you have to do in person. You have to go to your local immigration department and report in. Go up to Krabi, go to immigration for this 90-day check-in. Any government department, especially in New Zealand, it's long, it's lengthy, it's difficult to navigate. It's going to be hard work. Not so here. We go early in the morning because you don't get caught up in all the backpackers and the travellers who are out partying late last night. And so it's way faster and way easier because there's not as many people before lunch, because most people are lying in and taking it easy. Went in, what are you here for? 90-day check-in, go through that door. So we go out the back and there's like 20 people in this room. I was like, oh my God, we're going to be here forever. Why are you here? And we're like, 90-day check-in. And they're like, oh, passports. So we like give them their passports. And literally we were in and out in 10 minutes. Admittedly, Johnny had filled in all the paperwork online. He made it as easy as possible for them, but it was so efficient and effective. Put a piece of paper in and stamp it and say, the Greener family are where they said they were going to be, and we're out. And I was like, there is no way that if New Zealand asked us to check in every 90 days while we were visiting in New Zealand, that it would be that easy and efficient and smiley while you did it. We're super impressed. What cracked me up though was like, have you scanned? And we were like, ooh, why do we need to scan? Turns out the scan was to give them feedback. Like, have you scanned? And Johnny was like, yes, 5-star already. It makes me realize that even when it seems clunky, things can still be efficient. Sometimes even paper-based systems or in-person systems that you think might be clunky in your business, they can actually be super efficient and a great experience. New Zealand government, you could learn a thing or two from Thailand. I do note that they have just recently released a remote workers visa, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes for people going to New Zealand to work remotely. I think we've been really slow off the market in New Zealand with that one. The busy trap. That one where you feel like you're doing so much, but you're achieving so little. Because I think it's one of those ones that as women, it happens a lot. We've been conditioned that to be doing is to be productive, is therefore to be valuable. and worthy. To be seen to be resting is not okay. Think about when everybody says to you, when the baby sleeps, you should sleep. And you rebel against that with every atom of your being because it's so uncomfortable to be seen to be resting. I was like, never mind the fact that you've been up 5 times last night feeding said baby, we still rebel against resting during the day because it's not productive. In that case, it's very productive. Like, you'll feel slightly more human because sleep deprivation is a thing. And 2, you're probably producing milk if you're breastfeeding. Or if you're not, you're still caring and nurturing for this little thing that is totally and utterly reliant on you. Yet we rebel against that rest is productive thing. And we constantly filling our time with doing things because that makes us valuable and worthy. And it's such a trap. It gets us so stuck. We just end up creating these lists of things that we need to do. And then if your to-do list has got longer than your kid's Christmas list, and yet your bank account is still not growing the way you want it to, then you're confusing busy with productive. Busy all the time doesn't mean being effective. You've heard about those people that just walk around all day at a job with paper in their hands looking busy. It's really easy to look busy. It's much, much harder to look effective and productive. Being busy does not mean that you're getting a result. I can absolutely fill every moment of every day with work, stuff that could get done in my business, and 90% of it does not move the needles, does not make things better. We get this big long list of shoulds in our business, just like we get them in our lives, and then we try and live up to them and follow them, and it just makes us busy. Whenever I look back at those times where I was just working those crazy hours and not seeing the results financially in my business or impact-wise in my business, I can look back and very clearly see that during that time, if you'd asked me how I was, my immediate answer would have been busy. I'm busy, we're so busy, because I thought that saying busy meant that business was going well. Now, when I hear people say I'm busy, I know because I lived it, that when they say they're busy, what they mean is they don't know what their priorities are and that they're trying to do everything for everyone all at the same time, and they haven't deliberately thought strategically about what things would actually be most productive for them right now. And I know it because I lived it for a long time. I did stupid for a long time. We can all fall into the trap of being busy. And I think as women, we're way more likely to get stuck in the busy work than the money work. There's so many reasons for this one, because the moment I say money work, I felt that reaction inside my body and inside my throat. It's like, oh, why is that? Why do we think that being busy is more important than asking for the money? I was like, oh, that is a visceral reaction for me. I know that it's one of those things that I still need to do work on. Like, where's the work that would generate money for me in my business if I just got stuck in and did it instead of the busy work? Where do people come from to buy my things, to buy my stuff, to buy my product, to buy my service, to buy my experience? And I should do more of that. We used to get really hung up on posting out brochures to all the eyesights around New Zealand and going and visiting all the accommodation providers and all the information centres in the Bay of Islands to make sure they knew about our product. And one day I said to Johnny, how many sales actually come through all of the accommodation providers and all of the eyesights? And we mathed it up. It was like nothing. It was less than 5% of our whole business. And yet time-wise, it was taking up 40% of our time some weeks. So this is nuts. We're not doing that anymore. Now, maybe someone picks up a brochure and has a look at it and then buys from us later on. But truthfully, we were spending a whole lot of time on busy work. And yes, there was probably some times way back when we first got started, 2007, 2008, that it actually worked. The environment had shifted so dramatically that wasn't working anymore, and we're still peddling this busy work of things we should do, and it wasn't actually generating the money. That's a really great example of busy work over money work. And you can pick examples of it in every business. When we shifted that, the easiest way for me to bring in a full boat of sales is to sell a private charter. Let's make that one phone call that makes that one sale. You know, where are we going to look for if I'm selling a service that is designed to take work off mothers' plates. Let's say I'm a laundromat. Where do the mums hang out? Where can I go and see mums that have a full-time job or run a business? Where can I go and find those? Because I want to go and find those women so that I can get them my laundry service. It might be a networking group. It might be a business association. It might be a chamber of commerce. Where do those people hang out collectively? And that's about being really deliberate and going, where can I get lots done without a lot of time? I don't want to get busy doing lots of things instead of doing the money work. One of the things that's a really great example now for this is the social media piece. If your sales aren't coming from any of the platforms, adding another platform is not helping. It's just more busy work. If content doesn't generate sales in the short term and you need cash right now, that's not where you should be spending your time. Should you spend some time there? Yes. But you should spend an appropriate amount of time, because otherwise it's just a whole lot of busy work. When I talk to clients and I say, how many sales come through your website or your marketing and how many come through meeting people or referrals, they'll say, oh, well, they all come through meeting people and referrals. I'm like, okay, well, this stuff over here then, you're spending 20 hours a week on it. Let's park it. It's just busy work. 1 hour, 2 hours a week, maybe, because it's a long-term play. The other 18 hours I just gave you back, they need to be meeting people, catching up with past clients, catching up with people that you can collaborate with to get you more clients. And that's a difference between busy work and money work. Money work is, where is my money? Who's got my money and how can I go and get it? And busy work is, I'm doing it because somebody told me I should. Anytime you say I should, I want you to check in and go, is that money work or busy work? Because that'll help you start to sift and sort through whether I'm just staying in the busy or I'm getting the things done that actually move the needles in my business. When we're doing this, depending on what the problem is in your business, some people come to work with me and the problem isn't the money. They've got wait lists, their sales are awesome, their profit looks good, they're paying themselves, but they're working way too much and they are fighting way too many fights. I work with some people that are like that, like they're at capacity. They know they could take on more clients, more customers if they did a better job of leveraging the team and the systems and the processes that they had. So there's those people that have no capacity there. And then there's other people that are busy working, doing lots of things, but aren't getting the financial results. Depending on where you're at, you've got to prioritize the right fix. If you're in the capacity issue, then your priority has to be fix the capacity issue. You want to fix the lowest hanging fruit over there first. What's costing us the most time and how do we fix that fast? If your sales are cranking and you know you could sell more, but you can't because you haven't got capacity and you've got wait lists and you've got backlogs and you can't make enough of the thing or you can't service enough clients, you've got a capacity issue, we've got to fix that. If you're like, there's more month left than money, then we need to look at what do we need to do on generating revenue and therefore profit. Now, sometimes these two work hand in hand. If you're in the second camp where you need to make more money, then we need to do these things to drive sales. And it's like, actually, we've got a capacity problem because we've got either too many employees or people taking too long or systems not working well. And so it's taking too long to move people through the process. Delivering the service or delivering the product is costing us too much. And therefore, there's no profit left at the end. So sometimes they work hand in hand, but we want to prioritize these things. And so this is about looking at our business and going, in order to get more money in my bank account, what one thing do I need to be focused on and working on and prioritize that? For some of you, it's going to be revenue. It's going to be sales. How do I get more people to buy my thing? And it's generally simpler than you think. For some of you, it's going to be, what's the one thing that will give me back a day a week so that I can work on my business, not in it? Because if I could get myself out of the day-to-day fires, the day-to-day interruptions, then I could help my team be more productive and then we could put more people, customers, clients, guests through our business if we just did that correctly. And then for other people, it's really hard to train good humans. It's so hard to find good staff. Maybe that's the priority. How do we put processes in place that people coming into our business have a great experience, enjoy the process, and like being led by us, they don't leave? Because obviously, like, team churn is such an expensive thing. Once you've figured out what's the thing that's going to move the needle, whether it be time, systems, capacity, money, sales, whatever that thing is, just pick one, not all of them, pick one. Once you've figured out what that is, then you need to delete the other stuff and just stop doing it. There are things in your business that you could just stop doing and no one would notice. There are things in your business that you could delete from the day to day. Like people have these in their daily operations. Just stop it. Nobody will notice if you stop. Oh, but Sarah, we've always done it this way. That tells me that there is money to be saved in your business, money to be made in your business, and time to be saved in your business. They are the 7 most expensive words you will ever hear, but we've always done it this way. If you've ever worked for someone, you'll hear it all the time. In your own business, if you hear yourself saying it, you're like, oh, that needs addressing. Why are we still doing it that way? How do we shift it? How do we change it? Will help you focus on deleting things that you don't need to do. You can also delegate them. If you've got team, you can look at taking some of the low value tasks and giving them to someone else and you picking up the tasks that need to move faster. If we can constantly be taking you out of the bottleneck of the business, it's going to be really helpful. Prioritize on the problem right now that would fix the bank account, whether that be a capacity issue with you and your team or that be a sales issue. Focus on that and then make time every day to do work on that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a lot of time, but 15 to 30 minutes on the right work will stop you from being busy and help you be productive. Every week inside the Moxie world, we do a tool called the Power Hour. And one of the steps in the Power Hour is to DAD things, delete, automate, or delegate. If you write down everything you do on a daily basis and have a look at that list, you could run over that. You're like, what here could I delete? What here could I automate? And by automate, I mean systemize, get a ritual, make it so it's more efficient and easy to do. And what could I delegate? Often we have to automate, systemize it first before we can delegate it and then delete it from our calendar. But get a list of those things that you're doing on a daily basis and check in. Sometimes we can do some deletion straight away because we actually don't need anyone to be doing it. Sometimes we need to build the system, give it to someone else, and then delete it from our calendar. Write that list. Look at all those daily tasks and do that delete, automate, delegate. And then have a look at it and go, what in here actually is the thing that makes me money? What actually drives sales or brings cash into the bottom line of my business? And make sure that that's the first thing you do, not the last thing you do. As a general rule, sales comes from the leader of the business, the owner of the business at first. Some of you might have sales teams. If you have sales teams, this is important. Schedule the stuff at the start of the day that makes money. Schedule the sales activities at the start. If it's you, make the phone calls, do the follow-up, send the proposals, send the invoice, do that stuff first up. If it's someone else, then make sure you're taking time to check in and hold them accountable and give them praise, appreciation, and gratitude for meeting sales targets every day. We've got ECE centres in our program, and this is about making sure that anybody that's come and had a look at the centre has been signed up or followed up, put on a wait list, or their children are coming in to start if you've got space right away. That would be a sales activity that I'd want to do early in the morning. I don't want to do it right on 9 o'clock because nobody picks up their phone at 9 o'clock. But I do want to do it early in the day so that it's done and dusted and I can tick it off. Then if I don't get anything else done in the day, I know I've done the thing that's going to move the needle. Audit your daily list. Like first you need a daily list of what you do, but then I want you to look at it and go, where are the money-making tasks in here? 2, if you have a look at that list, you're going to delete, automate, and delegate things that either don't need to be done or someone else could be doing. And then lastly, put those money-making tasks at the start of the day when you're fresh, when you're energized, when you're excited, so they never get missed, they never fall off the end of the day. Because you do not want those needle-moving tasks to fall off the end of the day. And when you do this, when you do those 3 things, you'll stop being busy and you'll start being productive. And instead of feeling like you're working and working and working and not seeing any results in the bank account, the 2 will start to work together. The actions that you're taking, the way that you're spending your time will result in the money in your bank account. It's why we start everything. It's the cornerstone of everything we do is what's going on with your time. Because if you're not spending your time in the right place, no matter where you are on the journey, whether you're just getting started or you've been doing this for a decade, if you haven't looked recently at how you're spending your time and aligning it with the results that you want to get, then we will never get those results, because where your time, focus, and energy goes is where we get the results from. We don't want to confuse busy work with productive work. Busy is just an illusion. We need to focus on what actually makes an impact. Because when we stop saying I'm busy and start saying I'm productive, I'm winning, I'm having a fabulous day, I'm playing full out, we're getting great results, everything shifts for us. Till next time, stay moxie.